Thomas is a shark, and he pulled in a sucker named Clarence Thomas. I'm Tyrone Bowman. This is Tyrone Bowman Tonight. According to USA Today, and you've got to hear this in order to believe it, what you need to understand most about the story of Jerry Jones giving Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas a Super Bowl ring is that in doing so, Jones accomplished something he's done for decades: manipulate power or the powerful. For his own benefit, few NFL owners understand power, how it works, how to use it, and how to take it, how to create it. Like Jones, other owners are rich. Jones is rich and a shark. Sharks like him know what a sucker looks like. He found one in Thomas. It doesn't matter if Thomas is a supreme piffed. So what? Jones saw Thomas wide-eyed and gullible, not understanding that he has more power than Jones by a billion light years. And Jones took some of that power for his own, like Highlander, and all it cost him was a Super Bowl ring. Jones was an influencer before influencers. He builds alliances with the powerful, even if those powerful people aren't always the most upstanding. But he's not interested in morality. You don't become a billionaire by taking lumps. You become a billionaire by snagging chumps. Jones has always been able to use or to sense the sucker in the room. And he likely knew that Thomas was open for business. And to Jones, a ring was a cheap price to get his designer boots in the door with Thomas. You never know when Cowboys business might need a helping hand from his supreme. People have missed why this story is so important. It's not about Thomas. We already knew Thomas had issues. That's old news. What we've learned is that Jones's power goes far beyond football. We knew Jones had political influence, but no one knew until now it was to this degree. There's been no indication that any of Jones's business interests have appeared before the court, but Jones's actions are also about the possibility that those interests could. The Dallas Morning News published a story recently about Jones's political contributions, and when you combine that with news of Clarence and the Super Bowl ring, it reveals a picture of an owner who is among the most powerful and connected in American sports history. Jones donated $525,000 to Texas Governor Greg Abbott and $200,000 to both Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and Attorney General Ken Paxton. Paxton is currently facing impeachment after accusations of bribery and other abuses. And these are the examples of Jones's attempts at political influence that we know about. Imagine the stuff we don't know. Jones has long had the reputation in the NFL as perhaps its most ruthless owner. Other owners like Washington's Dan Snyder, who is in the process of selling the team, could be clumsily vicious, almost comically so. Jones has always been slicker, and he's used those smarts and aggression to become the most powerful owner in the NFL, and maybe all of sports. The Cowboys may not win championships, but they are an ATM machine. Let me insert this here. I find it hard to believe that Jerry Jones, when he was a young man, did not know what was going on down in Arkansas. You can believe that lie if you want to. I'll never believe it. Now back to the story. Along the way, Jones has made a number of enemies. The late New York Giants owner Wellington Myra in the Hall of Fame, once after the Giants beat the Cowboys, was asked if he was happy to beat Jones. "It's nice to see arrogance humbled," Myra said. "I enjoyed it very much. Jones the Shark has been on display for decades now. He fired Jimmy Johnson and replaced him with friendly Barry Switzer. He spent years cutting side deals with companies that rankle traditional owners like Myra. Jones was often called the, quote, shadow commissioner, close quote, by some in the league, and once launched what was essentially a coup against Roger Goodell. The coup obviously failed, but Jones still sits as the league's most powerful influence, under challenge and basically unpunished for attacking Goodell. Thomas didn't stand a chance. Another owner attempted to influence Thomas as well. One of them was Wayne Schwenza, the late owner of the Dolphins. The New York Times says that in the late 2000s, Thomas went with the Dolphins and at least once flew on the plane and was taken from a Dolphins practice on a helicopter. Schwenza was nonetheless still an amateur compared to Jones. If you want to say Jones and Thomas are close friends and the Super Bowl ring is about a deep friendship, I might pass out from the laughing for the LOLing. They could indeed be close friends, but Jones, to me, doesn't see friendship. He sees proximity to power. Besides the ring, according to the Times, Thomas flew in Jones's private jet, attended training camp practices, and sat in Jones's private box when the Cowboys played at Washington. Thomas has been scrutinized recently following numerous reports of him receiving gifts and services from private rich citizens. The reason Jones courted Thomas is a simple one. If you can get a Supreme Court justice to favor laws that help wealthy people like Jones, and the price is a visit to a luxury suite or a ring, that's the bargain of the century. Jones has probably had tough negotiations or people he couldn't crack, but Thomas obviously wasn't one of them. Thomas seems to have a, quote, grand opening, close quote, sign attached to him. Jones picked this up easily and did what Jones does, reel in the sucker. This may have been the biggest sucker Jones ever caught. I'm Tyrone Bowman. Never surrender, never quit.